It's rolling?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's rolling? Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode from Backyard Boys. If you guys are new to this channel, go ahead and lightly tap the subscribe button down below. If you guys like my content, press that like button. It does help with the algorithm of the videos. Anyways, in this episode, I'm super pumped up because we're gonna be working on the GTR. As you guys know, this was one of the tough projects that you guys thought that I couldn't tackle, but it is basically done now. Why I say that is because we got the alignment sheet. What does this alignment sheet show? Front left, boom, all in spec, which is right here. This is the side that I was pulling. Front right, boom, all in spec. Front, boom, all in spec. Rear right had a little bit of a bent control arm, which was most likely, rear right, most likely either from the accident, bent control arm barely off. So if you see here, before 0.1, and it's barely off, and it should be, oh, and it should be 1.3. Anyways, it's like a tiny bit off, to a point where I'm 100% confident it's some minor control arm. It's nothing scary over there. But besides that, we're gonna get that replaced and we're gonna do that off camera. In this episode, what we're gonna be doing is actually getting this car ready for paint and most likely assembly of the interior. So prior to doing any of that, what we gotta do is paint the insides of everything. My paint guy, he likes it when I paint everything in for him. The price is much cheaper and way less hassle, way less work. So meaning paint the inside of the hood, paint the inside of the fender. We're gonna paint everything here, all the, you know, the marks, hammer marks, anything that needed to be touched up. I'll paint everything inside there. I'm gonna paint the inside of the door as well. Inside the door is gonna get painted. Inside the quarter panel here is gonna get painted. The whole bottom section, most likely everything inside, everything back here, everything here is gonna be painted. And then after that, what we're gonna do is body work, prime it, and drop the car off at paint. I most likely will be able to get a video at the paint department. Not too sure just yet because a lot of times he paints in just random times while I'm working, so it's hard for me to shoot down there and take a video. But with all that being said, we got a ton of work on our hands and let's just get right into it. Pull the rear bumper off, most likely pull the door off, start disassembling everything again. We're gonna paint outside. We don't really have a better place to paint right now, but it is just cut-ins. And if the door jamb looks bad, we're gonna get the guy to repaint it. But what we're trying to do is just kind of get the guy to do the least amount of work, save him all the hassle. I'm sure if we paint the inside of the door, inside the quarter panel, inside the hood, the fender, it should be perfectly fine. Literally guys, you will never ever tell in your life. We got paint material, we got Steeler, we got base coat, and mid coat, which is the pearl, clear coat, everything's here. Let's get right into it. If any of y'all needs a headlight, GTR facelift headlight, I'll do like, what, 60 bucks? Yeah.
More.
No, I mean, it's got this computer here, look at it. Nissan, Japan, stock OEM. So we're here now prepping out, you know, the inside of the quarter panel for the cutout or the cut-in. Getting all the rough spots prepped out. This right here, I'm gonna quickly glaze and make this nice and flat. I'm gonna also glaze this right here where the rubber seal goes, just so you wouldn't see any of my welding. And then I wanted to point out a little funny part. So we stripped the door because we're gonna pull it off right now. We're gonna paint it in, but take a look at this. So I actually went ahead and marked it already with some, so I loosened the door, but that's why the gap is a little bit small. But take a look at this. So I'm not sure if the camera is showing it, but you guys can see that it's definitely much tighter right there, right exactly where I what's it called, sharpened it. So right here it's much tighter. Here and here it's the same. The gap is all the way same, except for right here it's just tighter. And then feeling it, you can feel like a little run from the factory. There's like a very, very, very slight run from the factory. And this door does not look like it's been painted before. We're looking at everything, you know, it just doesn't look like it's been painted. Looking at it flat, nice and clear. There's no dirt nibs or anything like that. So interesting. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and block this off. Got some 320. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of shave it down. This is not the first time I've done this, which is pretty surprising. I try to make the gaps, you know, super clean. We are at bare metal right there. Then let's take a closer look. How's that, a little better?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. That does actually look a lot better, so that's nice, that's nice. That was a very simple little easy fix. But I think what we're gonna do right now is cut in the hood, the fender, the door. We're gonna pull the door off, cut the door in, and I'm gonna continue working on the quarter panel because there's a couple of things I want to touch up, finalize prior to cutting it in. So let's get all these parts off the vehicle, start getting them prepped, and we'll see. Maybe tomorrow we'll cut in the actual quarter panel, but let's get it. So we got the door masked off, scotch brighted, prepped out, ready to put some Steeler, some base coat, and some pearl and clear on this thing. We got that set up right here. We got the front hood scotch brighted, cleaned up, got all the edges nice and tacked up, make sure everything sticks. So this is ready here, and then we got the fender hanging over there. We don't really have much more spots. I need to buy more of these here, but let's go ahead and get this cut in first. So let's mix up some paint, get right to it. So we went ahead and got the sealer laid down. It actually looks really darn good. And yes, I know, it's not the best atmosphere or the best environment to paint, but it's kind of what we have to struggle with while we get a shop or anything. By the way, there is no really update on that property just yet, so I'll keep that for another video. But got it laid down. As you guys can see, the sealer went down nice and clean. It looks like paint. It looks really nice. The door here is sealed off as well, and we're gonna wait for this to dry and mix up some base, pearl, and clear. Let's do it. So the paint outside is now nice and dry. It irritates me that it's not warm outside, and it irritates me that it gets dark so fast, but we got some Speedo clear here just for cut-ins and stuff like that. Nothing crazy. We're gonna make some 4-to-1, get this stuff ready. It's dark outside. I got a little spotlight pointed at the parts that need to be painted, and let's put some clear on this thing. Let's get it done and just let it dry overnight, and tomorrow we're gonna work on the quarter panel and on the front apron section. So let's get right to it, guys. You guys have it. We went ahead and cut in this door, the hood, and fender. You know what? Surprisingly, everything looks really good. It's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and that should be enough to get this clear coat to dry out properly, make sure it looks nice and shiny. I'm gonna go ahead and catch you guys tomorrow. We're gonna look over all this stuff here and then get to work on the actual body of the vehicle. So see you guys tomorrow morning. Good morning, guys. It is the next day here and the paint has dried out. Let's go ahead and unwrap the door, build the hood, and get to work on that quarter panel and apron. Let's do it. Well, we got it all masked off and we are ready to start putting down some, basically we're gonna put down some sealer to seal off all these bare metal and everything, seal everything up. I don't think we really need primer because this here gets covered up and it feels pretty darn good. Once we put sealer, base, you know, pearl and clear, it's gonna be perfectly fine. I went ahead and wiped everything down with some paint prep, tacked everything down with a tack cloth, so right now everything's perfect. Let's get right to it. So take a look at this. So the pearl is actually now dry. Don't want to be too tacky with it, but it's dry now. It's ready for clear. And take a look at it. It's literally cleaner than a paint booth. Like there's no specks on here. Actually really surprising. We're gonna go ahead and mix up some clear coat right now, get that laid down, and that's just about it. Unwrap this car, put the hood on, put the door on, call it good. Well, there you guys have it. Went ahead and cut in all the panels that needed to be cut in, and honestly this is actually a huge major part of the rebuild process. Why? Because it just saves so much time on the bodywork part, and a lot of times you can't really, it's hard to have enough room to put a door, a hood, a fender all over the body shop, I mean all over the paint booth, and then still be able to mask off and paint comfortably. So that's another reason why we did that. Close the hood, close everything, you know, the door and everything, just paint one thing from the outside. You can focus on one thing, especially with the pearl white. You have to do that because when you're spraying two panels right by each other, you must be nice and even with the pearl, otherwise you're gonna have some kind of tone off. This here, I'm letting it dry out, but it looks really nice and pretty in here. It's gonna get covered up either way. It is a little bit lighter color, just a little bit brighter, maybe because it's not dirty, but you know, this side is dirty right there. Once it gets into something like that condition, which I don't know if it will, but anyways, it gets covered up and it should be fine over here. The cut-in on the hood looks amazing. That's kind of the hood cut-in. Looks perfect there. Close the hood. You know, this hood's gonna be sprayed with it closed. Everything's gonna be sprayed, and like I said earlier, it is a pearl white, and pearl must be sprayed on the vehicle, or at least panels right by each other, but matching panels, otherwise you're not gonna match the color. The cut-in on the door looks absolutely amazing, and the cut-in on the quarter panel surprisingly turned out really darn clean. I'm actually quite surprised. It looks really good. You know, there's a little bit of a whatever. This gets covered up. I used maybe a little bit more pearl or something than the original. I don't know, but it's not that big of a deal. In the jam itself, it looks absolutely amazing. Back here, it looks perfect as well. So take a look back here. It looks really nice. Like, you know, like that's clean and professional. Almost looks OEM with all this seam sealing. But in the next episode, what we're gonna do is go ahead and do all the body work on the car. The body work on the car is kind of a lot. I mean, there is a lot of body work. The quarter panel needs to be all, this, you know, the quarter panel is pretty messed up. This used quarter panel, it is what it is. But anyway, we got a fat dent here, a little bit of waves over here. This area here has a dent up here, and then this. So we swapped the quarter panel, but we still got to fix this one. The door has no damage. It's the only piece that has no damage on this side because that fender has a ding in it. I don't want to close it just yet, but this fender has a ding here. It's gonna get repaired. Other side fender has a ding in the same spot. Front bumper is new. That's just about it. So not too much body work. I guess just these two panels actually. So I thought we had more body work than I thought. If that makes any sense. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and staying till the very end. If you guys want to support the channel, please click that like button down below or cop yourself some merch. And for this episode, I am out.